Hey everybody, so continuing on here, essentially what I'm getting at here is, upon seeing these things yesterday, it just, I mean, you gotta take care of the problems. I mean, if we don't solve the problems here in America, then, there's not gonna be no America left. There's not gonna be an ability to help, solve the issues of the planet and the animals and the ethers and all these types of things. When I say ethers, I mean, it's the energy realm. Like, our energy here in this realm is relatively low vibration. It could be much higher, but because this society and the people and where their heads are at, it's at a very low state. It's being done, and this is by design. Excuse me. So anyway, my point is, I've decided to redirect a lot of attention to helping develop this militia and developing rehab programs, helping out the homeless, developing organic food that can go to people and animals at an affordable price, and also possibly, probably more than likely, get into like more eco-friendly dwellings and just ways of living, and try to offer opportunities to integrate that into this current society to help combat and counter the rising inflation, the addiction crisis, the immigration crisis. I mean, there's a lot of different crises that are happening right here in America. So, first you got to deal with the problems the most closest to you, and that is something that's going on right here. And I live in Portland, where it's one of the biggest cities dealing with these movement organizations that seem to have ties to a lesser greater degree. Not everybody, but some aspect of most of these movements seem to have some nefarious ways of doing things. Now, whether they're just thinking that this is the right way of doing shit and they don't know any better, that could be. So I'm gonna, I happen to be here in this city for a reason. So I'm, this summer I've got some feelings like I'm probably gonna, I don't know, we'll see what's gonna happen, but I would like to at least speak with some of these people and see if I can, like, show them a different way of doing things that's not so destructive to other people. Because what I'm seeing, again, is more aligned with those terrorist type activities than people that are honestly trying to protest for a good cause, which I think, I'm not the biggest dude on protesting, but it's okay to do that as long as you're not hurting other people and getting in the way of the flow of traffic. Or if you are going to, you have to, that's where you go to, your city council and you get permits to march or to protest, and they allow it because they also give people a heads up, like, yo, this area is going to be used for protesting. That's a good way to do things. But from what I'm seeing from some of these organizations and people, especially here in Portland, is none of that's going on. It seems like people are walking by and being like amazed or, baffled by what the fuck they're seeing, and then they're also essentially being terrorized. So anyways, upon seeing these things, I've decided to revamp my efforts into developing militia and, just continue on with that type of a way. Because again, I mean, there's a very good possibility that some of these organizations are associated with a lot of the immigration situation. I mean, it could be it's an infiltration of our country. So, and it's like the National Guard is here, yes, but they're only trained for a very little bit of time. And so having another type of just having more security forces that are able to help out and provide potential security if necessary. Not to mention there's still all these child pedophile rings that need to be infiltrated and dealt with. There's a whole bunch of shit that needs to be taken care of right here in America, and I just get frustrated because it's like, well, part of me sees what's going on here as like what when I was in rehab, I had a Native American he was actually at the same August 23rd birthday. And I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again because it's very relevant to what's going on. And I was talking about how I felt bad about what my people, the whites, essentially did to his people, the Native Americans. And he actually told me, he was like, he kind of shrugged it off because he was like, yeah, man, we had it coming. Like, we lost our ways. And it's like, so like this is what happens when any type of a society or situation, people, organization loses its way. It becomes infiltrated by evilness or whatever the fuck you want to call it. And so it is important for us to acknowledge everything that's going on here in America and take accountability for the fact that we have allowed a lot of this in. Like, we do, just living in America in itself, the way that this infrastructure is currently designed is literally killing off other animals and people unnecessarily. And this is a huge fucking issue. There is karmatic repercussions for this, and it's like, when I continue to see people just caring about their own skin, it's like, well, this is how we got in the same situation in the first place. So it's like, it does demotivate me at certain times, especially when other things happen, when I'm not seeing people caring about everything else and they're just wanting to care about themselves. Like, if you have a house, like, our society, our infrastructure is essentially kind of like a house. It has everything we need as far as, medical, security, education, food, water, materials, and all these types of things. And if that which you are dependent on for your survival is in jeopardy of being destroyed, or in jeopardy of an aspect of it, a very vital aspect of it being destroyed or taken away or severely broken, then like you would spend time, like that should be your priority, is to deal with that situation. But we're not doing these things. I think a lot of it has to do with the government, the way it's designed, and just the irresponsible use of resources. It's just going in. I mean, there's a lot of people who don't even know where these resources are going that we pay for, as taxpayers pay for. And so I think there is, but that shouldn't stop people from at least speaking about these things and seeking the solution on their own. Like, okay, it's like if you have a house that's falling apart and there may be people that are supposed to help you fix it up, but they're not doing it, and you have the time, energy, and motivation, or the time and energy, I should say, to fix it yourself, then you should fix it yourself rather than waiting for somebody else who's clearly not doing the job. So that's how I feel. But at the end of the day, this needs to move on. And it's like I've spent a lot of time and energy working on this. I happen to be in Portland, so there's a lot of things that are lining up in a particular way that could help my own life, and as well as many others too. So it's like, I just need to continue on and stay positive. And when people, if they want to choose to speak about helping out the world and the animals and the pollution and corruption, all these types of things, and some of you guys do, shout out to those of you that do. I really do appreciate that, because we do need more of that. There is, and again, this is also going back into like cosmic currency, like from those above. Like if we start taking care of our planet and showing that we want to help those that truly need help, there's a very good possibility that we're going to receive help from above. But until we start acting in that type of responsible manner, they literally can't intervene. That's just how I feel. So on multiple levels, I feel very passionate about this, but I'm willing to overlook these things to deal with the immediate problem here in America now for our own survivability. And also in doing so, we can shed light on a lot of other things. And I think a lot of these companies that are perpetuating toxic products are also in aligned or in league with some of these nefarious organizations that are kidnapping children and are just perpetuating corruption all over the board. So by dealing with this situation, I think a lot of other things are going to get unraveled. So, all right, I just want to share that. So I'm sorry if I've offended anybody, but, try to think from the animal's perspective and the plant's perspectives, man. Like, we are killing these things off. Like, and it's it's like, nobody's talking about it, really. So it does bother me, but I'm not going to let that get in the way of the bigger picture and the collective and helping out humanity as well as I can. And me being negative about it doesn't help anything out, really. So I'm going to try to stay as positive as I can and just continue moving along in a good way. So, all right. I love you guys. Hope you have a good day. Thanks. Bye.